Intentions are being urged to become better informed about the scams on the internet, which seeks to deprive persons of their money and freedom. The advice comes from Minister of Foreign Affairs, Trade and ICT Camillo Gonsalves, who was addressing the opening ceremony of a human trafficking workshop hosted here earlier this week by the SVG Police Force. Minister Gonsalves says human traffickers prowl the internet in search of random vulnerable individuals to exploit, most of the times promising jobs or a chance at a better life. He says, though not yet prevalent in SVG, for intentions to ensure that human trafficking does not become a problem, they must be on their guard and smart when using the internet.
It is important to keep up with the modern traps that are being set for young people. It doesn't take much on social media for somebody to tell a young girl or a young boy all sorts of lovely things and string them along, and before you know it, give them a ticket to fly off to what they think is going to be a happy life somewhere. And when they reach, they realize they've become trapped into some form of forced labor, sexual slavery, or something of the sort. All of the plots and schemes that come up on the internet to rob you of your money are also being used to rob people of their freedom and their virtue and their innocence. And we have to always be on guard against these sorts of things. One instance of human trafficking in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is one too many. We must continue our good work. We must continue to be educated. We must continue to be aggressive in trying to stamp it out wherever we may find it.
Commissioner of the SVG Police Force, Michael Charles, says human trafficking is an issue that should be of concern to every Vincentian because it endangers public health, encourages violence and organized crime. Though he says there are not many incidents present here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, it is still a debasement being a stark reminder of slavery, though in a more modern format. Commissioner Charles further adds that he believes that SVG needs more international allies to effectively counter human trafficking.
I assert that there must be a resolute effort to employ the internationally accepted strategy of the 4 Ps, which dealt with 1. Protection, protecting the victims of crime, of human trafficking. 2. Prevention, proactively preventing the crime of human trafficking from taking root in our country through education and sensitization on matters relating to human trafficking. 3. Prosecution, investigating all reports of human trafficking and successfully prosecuting the traffickers. And 4. Partnership, partnering in the fight against crime, which is the key. It is imperative that not only local partnerships are formed among stakeholders, but regional and international as well, if we are to, in a serious and sustained way, counter human trafficking.
And on Monday, September 28, 2015, the Regional Security System Training Institute's Crime Scene First Responders Course 2015 will open here. The course is being held to provide participants with the skills and knowledge necessary to function as first responders at a crime scene. At the end of the course, which will conclude on October 2nd, 2015, participants will be expected to be able to explain the principles of crime scene prevention and understand the 4 stages of a crime scene: search for evidence, plan, enter, search and exit. They will also be able to understand and demonstrate the principles and types of packaging to preserve and protect forensic evidence to maximize their forensic potential. The training will take place at the Old Montrose Police Training School. In other news, Senior Education Officer Aldia Dyer is calling for equal investments and equal attention for the struggling readers in schools. Dyer, who was speaking at the finals of the court's primary school reading competition on Friday, says while it is important to proudly showcase and encourage good readers as stakeholders in the future of SVG, all efforts must be made to improve the competence of the young readers. The education officer says parents, guardians and educators must remember that they have a responsibility to equip the youth with the skills that they will need to become independent and capable law-abiding citizens, noting that the ability to read in this regard is a priority.
I ask that we continue to unite to recommit ourselves to the cause of our struggling readers. Similar investments can and must be made to obtain specific resources designed to assist those students who develop simple deficiencies and those with learning disorders. Investments can be made to continue to train teachers so that they can constantly improve their practice in an effort to meet the needs of each child. And investments can be made to support resource personnel in the running of special programs designed to lessen students' chances of falling below the target line. Also examine the other side of the coin. In many of our schools, despite the efforts of education officers, head teachers, parents, the children themselves, corporate society, there are many students who are not meeting minimum standards. We must never be allowed to forget these children. Even more unfortunate is the fact that our society continues to play the blame game as a means of responding to this very regrettable state of affairs. However, let us recognize the fact that the success of our children is dependent on several various factors.
And Chief Education Officer Gilchrist is advising students to thrive to become successful contributors to society. Gilchrist gave this advice to the students of the Bukomen Secondary School during the school's 10th anniversary celebrations held earlier this week. Gilchrist told the students to make the best of the opportunity of being able to develop their minds so that they can have a good future, adding that in other countries around the world there are young people living in extreme poverty and are unable to improve their situations because they are not afforded the privilege of free access to education. She furthermore stated that here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, teachers and parents are doing their best to prepare them for the future, but they have to ensure that they stay focused and do not bow to peer pressure.
So please, we're all collaborating with the aim of creating good lives, wholesome lives, healthy lives for you. Play your part, students, by, like I said, attending school every day, by coming to school early, taking part in assembly, taking part in the co-curricular and extracurricular activities. I'm not even going to tell you to pay attention in class and to do your homework. That goes without saying. Yes, that goes without saying. So first foremost, remember that you have entered a school of distinction. I want you to live up to the ideals of the school, follow the motto of the school, be guided by the good principles upon which this school has been founded, and God will see us all through.
In news coming to hand, we heard that a truck carrying supporters of the opposition New Democratic Party to a meeting in Shatibele on the leeward side of the island reportedly overturned in the Spring Village area, with at least 2 persons seriously injured. SVG-TV News understands that the 2 who are females were taken to a nearby health center for medical attention. This evening, the opposition MP for North Leeward, Roland Patel Matthews, is expected to outline his plans for the constituency during the launch of his manifesto ahead of the general elections, here widely speculated to be held later this year. We will bring you more on this story as further information comes to hand.